We're on chapter 3, by the way. Supporters, we have 10. I don't know how we lose supporters at the beginning of every chapter, but I digress. What are we going for? We have Frozen Lightning. Okay, so we need critical intel and army uniform. I don't understand why you clear out the inventory every time. I don't like that. Next is we need, so we long story short, we need 3 and 3 if we want to do anything impactful. Do we still have our contacts? We still have our contacts. Okay. Alright. Oh, people very much are fake, and that's what pisses me off. Because the people who are fake will go drastically further than the people who are real. Again, that pisses me off. It really pisses me off. We need supporters. Supporters bring in money. Literally and figuratively, it's how this world lives or works. So a guy who is academic gains more than her. Who has more empathy? Oh, he's got more loudspeaker. Okay. Well then, we'll go with him. Let's wait a second. Okay, go with him, and let's just start this all shit off with a bang. Wait, I lost my bicycle. Bicycle, bicycle. Okay, so we've lost our bicycle. Great. When hasn't she been saying? She's a woman. Enforce. Again, the union leader. Okay, he's been seen because we enforced. One supporter. Great. It's almost like using a woman in the game makes you at a disadvantage. Really weird. I sit on a comfortable chair in the shadow of an old apple tree in Manhold's allotment garden. Volkner and Anne are putting food from a basket on the table. Potato salad, fresh bread, and apple pie. Can I help you with anything? Thank you, that's nice of you, Gerd, but no, we're almost done, says Mr. Manhole. We'll join you in a moment. When the basket is empty, Volkner takes 2 chairs next to me, replaces 2 chairs next to me, and they take a seat. What do you say? He asks pointedly at the garden around us. Is he wearing an army uniform? Yeah. It's wonderful. How did you get it? It wasn't easy, says Miss Manhole. Everyone wants a lot of garden right now. There is a long waiting list, but it helps that we have children, and of course the fact is, Volker is serving. When do you have to be back at the front? Volker is wearing his uniform. We're macked. It's the only detail on this day that reminds us all that the fact we're at war. Too soon, he says, tomorrow. Where are you stationed? Are you still in France, I ask? I'm not going back to France, but it's to a secret destination. All vacations have been cancelled, says Volker. Something is going on. Any idea what they're planning? You can talk about this later, says Anne. Now we eat. Curse you, Anne! Elsbeth, Claus, go wash your hands and take a seat wherever you like. Take a seat on the opposite side of Volker. His son's wearing a youth uniform. Anne fills the plates with sausage, potato salad, and a piece of fresh bread. Claus wipes his hands on his pants and joins us. Thank you, Anne. It's really delicious. One more sausage, says Claus, and holds up his plate, from which all sausage is gone already. Don't eat like that. The rest is for our guest. Wait for Mr. Kaufman to finish first, says Volkner Manholm. But I'm hungry now, says Claus. Then have more potato salad, says Anne. The parents handle us. We're having a little break now, says Anne, once we've finished our plates. The Goodmans are coming for coffee and cake. They should be here in a minute. Can I stay for the coffee? You invited those Jews? Asked Claus. Why? Because they're our neighbors, says Anne. Now go and play in the garden. I'll call you when we have the cake. Asked Faulkner. What's happening in France? How are things in France, I ask. For the work mart, it's easy living. Sure, there is a resistance. Yes, there is still the independent part of France with its exile government. But in the eyes of the work mart, France has been defeated. Without outside help, it won't go anywhere. The Paris will always stay Paris, won't it? When it's occupied, it is still Paris, sure, but it's being dominated by our troops, our police, our secret police. I think back to the beautiful day in Paris I had in the summer of 1936. What does that mean for the city? Clubs play the music Germans want to. In theaters, they perform the plays the Germans want to see. And even the brothels. He looks at his wife. So I have heard, he adds, even the brothels cater to the needs of the German occupiers. What I would like to know is what's up with a secret destination. Where'd they send you to? I asked. What is a secret destination? I told you. I don't know, says Volker. But what do you think? The rumors, says Volker. What do these rumors say? Some say we will attack Russia. Germany and Russia have the perfect non-aggression pact. On one hand, it makes sense. It's what he always wanted. Hitler hates Russia and the Russians. On the other hand, Germany signed a non-aggression treaty with them. It would open a war on two fronts, which would be insane, if you'd ask me, says Volker. A couple roughly around the same age as the Manholds enters the garden, followed by a pale boy of tall stature who I estimate to be 15 years old. Oh, it's the Goodmans, says Faulkner. Let's continue our conversation later. Yes, of course. For the second time today, we gather around the table. This time, Volker and Anne serve apple pie and coffee. The Goodmans have brought a sweet honey cake. Here, take some, says Mr. Goodman and hands me a piece. Thank you, it's delicious. Anne sends the children into the garden to play. Get up now, will you, Elias? Go play with the Claus. He's a nice boy, you'll see, says Miss Gutman. Reluctantly, Elias gets up and joins Claus and Elsbeth. Have more coffee. What was the trip? Asks Faulkner. Fine, says Louis Gutman. It was not fine, disagrees Paula Gutman. It was hot, it was sticky, and it took ages. I really miss going by car. Get over it, says Louis. At least they still let us use the trains. Won't be long until they ban us from the trains too, says Paula. I know you, don't I? Don't you live on the other side of the street, I asked. They do now, says Anne, before one of the Gutmans can answer. Louis and Volker used to work together as bookkeepers at Schmidt and Schuy. Apple pie and coffee together, a different combination. I'd try it. When did you move to this area? We didn't move, we were forced to move. It was 2 years now, says Paula Gutman. In case you haven't guessed it already, we are Jews. We had to leave our own house in 1938 and were forced to move into what they call a Jew apartment. That must have been tough. We swapped a beautiful place against an overcrowded hole, so some Aryan can live in our house. My apologies, said Louis Gutman. My wife tends to exaggerate. We are fine, really. Our apartment is fine as well. It's a rat hole, says Paula. I'm sorry to hear that. Thank you for your sympathy, says Paula. I'm sorry for being like that. I know it's not your fault, but it makes me angry every single day. I hear you, says Volker. I can only try to imagine how I would feel. I guess I would be just as angry as you are. You have every right to be angry. I am more scared than angry, says Louis. So far, we had something they could take from us, but there is nothing left now. The only thing they can take are our lives. The children yell at each other. Claus cries out in pain and comes running to the table. His nose is bleeding. What happened? He hit me, says Claus and points at Elias, who stands further away, partly hiding behind a tree. Is that true, Elspeth? Claus' younger brother has come to the table now and nods. Why did he hit you? He just hit me without reason. I haven't done anything and he hit me. Is that true, Elspeth? The girl looks at her brother and back to her mother without saying anything. Stay out of it. I'll let the parents handle the situation. I tell you, says Claus. He is crazy, he just hit me. Ask Elspeth, says Anne. Is that true, Elspeth? Did Elias really just hit Claus without a reason? Watch Elspeth. Elspeth shakes her head. Keep your mouth shut or you'll regret it, yells Claus. No, she won't. Tell us the truth, Elspeth. What happened? Claus said that Elias smells bad, says Elspeth. He said that it was a disgrace that they lived in our street. What else did he say? He said that Elias and his family are vermin, and once he was 18, he would join the SS and kill them. You said what? Volker steps up to his son and slaps him in the face. He turns to the Gutmans. I am sorry. I really, truly, deeply am sorry. Please accept my apology and ensure that this is not the way I raised my son. Pack, Volker. We are leaving, says Louis. I know you mean well, but we don't do this, I am afraid. See, says Claus, they're cowards. It's just what Jews do. You mean non-confrontational shit? That warning, Volker slaps his son in the face a second time. You shut up now. I don't know who you are anymore, yells Volker. Not his fault. It's a propaganda. They indoctrinated them. And Volker tried to convince the Gutmans to stay in vain. When the family has left the garden, there is a loud humming coming from the sky. An air raid? But there are no warnings, says Anne. I look up and see hundreds, if not thousands, of airplanes flying in one direction. There was no warning because these are ours, says Volker. East, says Volker. Something is happening. Something big. Completely neutral. Okay. Germany invades Soviet Union. Without prior declaration of war, German Wehrmacht attacked the USSR. Finland declares war on the Soviet Union. Finland declares war on the Soviet Union under the pretext that it has been attacked by USSR troops. Hungary declares war on the Soviet Union. After alleged air attacks by the Soviet aircraft on Hungary, the Hungarian government declares war on the USSR. Well, it's official, says Volker. Hell during our meeting. I received my draft notice. Been drafted? Are you gonna fight? Wait, slow down, he says. I also have good news. I was introduced to a doctor who was sympathetic to my situation. He diagnosed me with a crooked spine, and with his official note in my file, I can't fight. Thank God. I think I speak for all of us when I say that I'm glad you're not joining the Wehrmacht. Cheers to your bad back, I say. He grins and nods. Morale, yay, it's going up. Oh, we need one of these. Missing intel. Great, more crap. We had intel, now we need even more. Okay, I'm trying to read the damn thing. Leaflets. Missing. Stack of leaflets. Steal a uniform, which is not much of a threat. Weird enough. Missing is the spyglass. Missing is the people. Of course it is. We have the paint. Oh, Ruth, you already have 2 dots. Like I said, it feels like women are the bane of this because, like, she gets caught a lot. Anja was the same. Yet the guys don't seem to get caught as much, let alone have as much threat. It's weird. What happened to my bicycle? Bicycle, bicycle. Hey Ruth, wanna go grab some paper? We lost 1 supporter. Enforce, I don't give a shit. The witness leaves. People are inspired by the opportunity to change things and join the cause. Horse policy. 7,000 murdered and massacred. German Wehrmacht task forces conquer parts of the USSR, murder about 7,000 people in a massacre in Lviv. British bombers carry out day attack on Kiel. 48 Royal Air Force bombers attack the shipyards. A Wellington plane crashes. Wages are dropping. The salaries of employees in the German Reich have decreased about 12% in the last 10 years. A retail merchant in 1931 earned 250 RM per month. In 1941, he's earning 218. Ruth looks flabbergasted as she enters the room. I have to tell you something, she says. My neighbors, a married couple, both party members. I had a decent relationship with them before. I know for a fact that they couldn't have children. But then I saw them yesterday with a small child. A little girl, and for 4 years old. She spoke Russian. What does that mean? Hold on, I asked them where they got her, and they told me that they were her new parents, adopted from Russia. New parents, do you understand? The Nazis are taking healthy children from the Russian families and sending them to Germany. They even gave her a name, a new one, Helga. Every time I think the Nazis can't become any more inhuman, they still manage to surprise me. I can't believe it myself. The worst thing is that they don't even seem to understand what might be wrong with the situation. Ruth shakes her head. The Nazis, what do you want? Okay, so we need intel, right? Get the hell off my screen, Volker, shut up! I'm trying to figure out where to go. This is books. Books will give bugs. That doesn't help me. This will gain that and unlock spyglass. Nothing is giving me any information whatsoever of gaining, like, intel. Nothing. Volker, you go there. Okay. Good man. Lost 1 supporter, BFD. Must raise Moscow to the ground, Hitler says. We don't want any people left who we'd need to feed during the winter. Okay. Great Britain and Soviet Union signed assistance agreement. The agreement excludes separate peace and ceasefire negotiations between opposing parties and the German Reich. German Air Force units attacked the Mediterranean island, Malta, which is an important supply base for British troops in North Africa. "I have somebody who needed our help," says Paul, as he enters the room. "The child of a friend of mine was diagnosed with epilepsy, and the Nazi doctors wanted to send her to one of their atrocious racial hygiene hospitals. Do you know what that means?" Nobody comes back from him. "We must hide the child and her parents," says Paul. "I can't abandon my friend in a moment like this." "We can hide them, but this is only one family. We can't help all of them. I honestly don't understand how people can support such things. What does it mean to be human if you murder those who need your help and can't protect themselves?" replies Paul. "Family with the ill child needs a place to hide." Only need one person? Okay. Great. It's already highly dangerous. Contact the priest. I'll take it. We have paint. Paul, you're going back in. I'll send Gerd and Ruth. Hubert. Those who aren't serving in the army must help the war effort in other ways, so I have to assist with the winter Hilfswerk in collecting blankets, shoes, food, and money for the soldiers. When I arrive in the assigned neighborhood, I meet a silver-haired man in his 60s who extends his hand. "Hi there, I'm Wagner." "Good morning, Herr Wagner." He shakes my hand with a smile. "Looks like we'll be collecting together this morning. Ready?" We walk to our first apartment. I'm trying to hide my discomfort, but Wagner is perceptive. "What's wrong?" he asks. Asking these people for money is uncomfortable for me. Berlin is already suffering under their rationing, I say. It doesn't feel right to keep asking people for more. Wagner seems generous of spirit. "Well, wartime is hard for everyone, but we're already here, so let's make the best of it, shall we?" All right, then. We knock on the first door, and it's Pleasant family that isn't unhappy to see us. They give us a blanket and a bit of money. Wagner hands the mother a token to show that they gave something. "That was a good start," says Wagner. "So you've done this before?" "Indeed I have. I've been serving this country for a long time." Spent a few hours going from door to door. Most people are friendly to us. Some are annoyed. Wagner takes it all in stride. The last few we meet are quite pleased with the swift victories of the Wehrmacht and hopeful for a quick end to the war. Ask Wagner what he thinks of the war. "Well," Wagner begins, "do not share their enthusiasm, but that's because I fought in the last war. And like I said, it's hard on everyone." "How do you think this war will end quickly?" "Well, when I say no, it's not because I'm speaking against the ability of our army, of course. I served on the Eastern Front back in the Great War, and let me tell you, beating Russia is a mistake, and not because we're fighting on multiple fronts." What was it like back then?
I'd rather not go into detail, my friend. It was hideous, to be frank. Suffice it to say, if the Wehrmacht can't make a knockout punch before winter, everyone will suffer, or the guns of the world can't shoot down a Russian winter.
Thank you, Irwin. I thank him for his help. It was certainly easier to do with him than alone, but I can't forget what he said to me about the war. What if it goes on for years? Lost a supporter! Yay! Whatever. Okay. Alliance offer to Japan, Berlin. The Führer offers to the Japanese government an alliance for the annihilation of the USSR and the USA. Submarines and planes instead of tanks. Hitler orders to refocus on building submarines and aircraft. He considers the war against the Soviet Union as won. Soviet Red Army recaptures the cities of Rogov and Soblomen and defeats the occupying Wehrmacht divisions. I can tell something is bothering Hubert tonight. When I ask him what's wrong, he says things are difficult at home right now. It's our son. Is your son in trouble? No, well, yes, no. Says Hubert. He's fighting with the Wehrmacht on the Western Front. A couple of days ago, I overheard my spouse praying for a swift victory for our soldiers. What did you say? Well, I became angry. We fought because I couldn't bear to hear anyone, let alone my spouse, wish for a quick victory for the Nazis. And he couldn't believe that I would give up everything to help our son stay alive. This is a quandary.
Of course,
you want your son home, safe. But if Hitler is victorious across Europe, I can't imagine what will happen next. Very true. Of course you need me to do all this shit now for the helmet. Are there more levels up? Also, why did this suddenly get hostile? You know what? We're going for it. Hold on. Druid's really been seen. Alright. Volker, Hubert, Ruth. Let's switch in Paul with him. More danger. Volker with him. Paul. More danger. And then Paul with her. So we gain less danger, but less preparation. Okay, now to switch this one. I think it's because of the tokens that I have on my head. That literally is just even trade. That's an even trade right there. Harmful, however. How about you, Paul? Alright. I gain nothing with the club. No risk, no reward. No risk, no reward. Let's do it. All or nothing, baby, all or nothing. Yes. 1 uniform, 2 to go, and 2 or 3 intels. Robert. It's raining lightly, but the air is still warm as I walk to the movies for my secret meeting. I'm the only customer in line at the ticket booth. A ticket, please. Pay for the ticket and enter the movie theater. The room is nearly empty, just as a handful of people trying to sit as far away from each other as possible. Most of them are in the back. Some in the middle, and none in the front. There's the back. Although most people were sitting towards the back, it's still easy enough to find a seat with some distance to the other moviegoers. And Mockenschnau, the official news magazine, is showing reports of victories from the Eastern Front. Look around. I count 7 more moviegoers in the room. Most sit alone, but a young couple, 2 rows behind me, seems more interested in each other than in the program. Someone takes a seat behind me and whispers, "Don't turn around." Keep looking at the screen. I keep looking at the screen where Hitler is honoring a general for his achievements. "Good you came," she says from behind. Recognize the voice. I know who that is. It's Hannah. I met her in Paris in 1936. Back then, she was trying to convince me to work with the Soviets. Seeing her now, working as a Soviet agent, doesn't come as a surprise. The movie starts as a romantic comedy called Happiness is for Everyone. Ha! I'm glad you made it out of Paris. You're mistaken. I never met you before, and I have never been to Paris. Do you understand? I understand. Good, she says. Listen, Hitler's campaign in the East is very different from the one in France. People need to be told about this. On screen, Albert Schumann and the Irma Fall are an engaged couple and are arguing about his sluggish career. What do you want me to do? This is not a war in which soldiers fight each other. This is a war against the Red Army and against all civilians. We're still in the process of proving that this is occupied under the official orders, but since it keeps happening in the same way, I think that it is. People in Germany need to learn about this. What have you seen? 1 week after the German attack, I was part of the Red Army squad. We were defending a village, but we didn't stand a chance against the Wehrmacht. I managed to escape, but the rest of my squad was taken prisoner. What happened to them? The German officer had them line up on the main road. He spoke to his soldiers and told them that these people were thoroughly Bolshevized, and that they were subhuman and had to die. The prisoners were forced to get on their knees. Did they interrogate them? Screen, Albert Schumann mimics an excessively lazy employee. The audience laughed. The officer pulled his pistol, stood behind each prisoner, and shot them in the head, one by one. But I assume the officer was SS. This was just a regular Wehrmacht. There was no SS. I know what they look like. This is the woman who insists she is not Hannah. On screen, Ermi tries to convince her mother that Albert will make a good husband. What did you do next? On screen, Ermi and Albert get married. I waited for the soldiers to leave the village and then secretly followed the German troops eastward. I was hoping to get to the front to reunite with my troops. What else did you see? I came to a settlement where an old man and his wife hung from a tree. The Germans had put a sign around their necks to warn others never to cooperate with reasons. From then on, I saw people hung from trees in almost every village I passed through. Were there many partisans fighting against the Wehrmacht? Maybe. It is a strategy of the Red Army to fall back behind enemy lines and attack their blind side, but what I know for sure is that for every dead German soldier, the Wehrmacht murders dozens of innocent villagers or civilians out of revenge and cruelty. I'm really sure wasn't the Waffen-SS. They look similar. Waffen-SS and task forces followed regular troops, but the Wehrmacht does its part, believe me. On my journey, I came through the village. They seemed to be entirely empty at first. The villagers had all fled. But they hadn't fled. No, they didn't flee. They were all still there. Albert Schumann, now happily married, has become even lazier at work, which speaks hysterical laughter in the cinema. Or were they? I found them in a pit nearby. The Wehrmacht had shot them and thrown them in a dirt hole. All of them. Men, women, children alike. On screen, a confused Albert Schumann is being bribed by his boss. The audience bellows with laughter. They had tried to burn the bodies, but the damp weather foiled them. What did you do? I went through the pile to see if there were any survivors. It was awful. It reeked of burned flesh and decay. I threw up several times. In the end, it was all for nothing. They had killed everyone. It is. This is not a regular war. This is not like France. These troops have not come to conquer and rule. They have come to annihilate. Their enemies aren't just the soldiers. Their enemy is everybody, including the innocent villagers. And why? What's the purpose of this? Don't you get it? This has always been Hitler's goal. He wants to exterminate the Slavs and the Jews, to rid the East of all subhumans, to create a home for his Aryan race. I didn't think they would really do it. No, almost no one thought they would, was Hannah. But I knew she was right. Even in Mein Kampf, the book Hitler wrote almost 20 years ago, he had already planned out what Hannah was describing now. On screen, Ermi saves her husband's career, and Albert seizes his second chance. How can it be stopped? The world needs to know about this if we can find the official order, which proves that this isn't some mercenary Wehrmacht squad committing war crimes on its own initiative. We need to prove that this is officially ordered from above, that it's a systematic. I'm not sure we're capable of finding a secret Wehrmacht order, but we will try. Thank you, says Hannah. If you manage to find the official order and put it in the right hands, it might change the course of war. On screen, the plot is clear. It's in its final hurdle. Herman Albert accepted a divorce and is now heading towards a happy ending. You mean America would join the war if they knew? Maybe. I need to go now. Contact me through the usual means if you learn anything. And then she's gone. On the screen, the happy couple decides to remarry. On my way home, I think about the atrocities that Hannah told me. Could it be true? I trust the Nazis to commit almost any crime but full-scale genocide. In order Hannah was talking about exists, it would clarify things. I mean, the order could change everything, not only for us, but the entire world. The morale of the group is very low. Yeah, no shit. No shit. Wehrmacht defeats 13th Soviet Army. Second German Army defeats the 13th Soviet Army near Mojiljo. More than 23,000 Soviet soldiers are taken prisoner of war in Germany. Airstrike on Moscow. Luftwaffe flies 2 consecutive days of attacks against Moscow and drops over 80,000 incendiary bombs. Munich Reich propaganda minister Joseph Goebbels opens the 5th Great German Art Exhibit. Artworks by 647 National Socialist artists are shown. Paul expresses a dilemma to us in our meeting. I have to admit, as a German citizen, as a member of the resistance, I feel conflicted about this war. There's no conflict. I know that! Just listen. This war has the potential to be even more destructive than the Great War, perhaps much more. Millions of lives lost all over the world, which is why it's wrong. And I agree, but still, Wehrmacht has enjoyed such swift victories. Wouldn't it be better if they won quickly rather than getting bogged down in a protracted war with millions more dead on all sides? We can never wish victory for Hitler. Even if great numbers die fighting, just imagine all of Europe and Russia ruled by Hitler. If the rumors of the camps are true, what happens then? Burma silent. Set up a hideout. We need morale. Leaves us with 6 marks. A lot of money, that one. I know, shut up. Okay? Events. You're adding more onto this. It's really just dumb as shit. Like, the morale thing is just shit. It's really shit. Like, no shit, the morale of the group is low. We're fighting in a World War II. Tons of Jews are dying, tons of people who are soldiers are dying. No shit, the morale is gonna be an all-time low. We're not even fighting in a world war right now, and my fucking morale is all shit because of what's going on in the world. Moscow, Soviet Party leader Joseph W. Stalin meets special envoy of U.S. President Franklin D. Roosevelt to negotiate U.S. deliveries of war material. Massacre in Kishinev. Members of the SS murder there more than 12,000 Jews, men, women, and children in the city of Kishinev during an organized murder campaign. Der Gassman premieres. Berlin, the Heinz Ruckman movie, Der Gassman premieres, directed by Karl Froelich. It turns out to be a successful screen comedy. I feel like everyone around me is disappearing, says Volker. During tonight's meeting, I miss my brothers. Your brothers disappeared? Well, not exactly. He was drafted into the army. Just like that, he's gone. So many other young men have been drafted, too. At this rate, there won't be many young men left in Germany. Will painting boost our morale? Okay, so let's try and gain some peeps. Of course it gains enemies. Okay, go with you. You're killing me with this. You're killing me with this shit. Okay, let's do this. Oh lord. Gerd it is. M next. Okay. Volker. Ruth. But it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. Let's send both. At this point, when aren't we losing people? Look, we gained 2 morale. Morale of the group is super low. After 3 weeks, the Wehrmacht wins the Battle of Smolensk. 310,000 Soviet soldiers are taken prisoner in the war. Munster Bishop Clemens August, Graf von Galen, holy sweet mother of name, denounces the mass killing of mentally ill as ordered by the National Socialist leadership as murder. Do I really have to rehash what I talked about for the last 5 years and what I do? No one cares about the special needs. No one has, since long before Hitler existed. The obligation to serve in the Reich labor service is extended from 6 to 12 months for young women and must be completed in the service of the Wehrmacht. During a break in our meeting, Paul pulls me aside. Something has happened. This could be a big force. What happened? I was approached by someone near my apartment and they claimed to be with the British Secret Service. They went to work with us. We have to be careful. This is very exciting, but we must be absolutely sure we are being tricked. This will give us 2 morale. This will give us 2 morale. This will give us 6 morale. And also gains us 1 book. I accept you. Now begins the... no. Sweet danger. It's the danger zone! Listen. Ah. Army uniform. Ah. Ooh. Ooh. I like this. I didn't know that was a thing. I didn't know that was a thing. Missing is money. Of course money's missing! When isn't money missing? Hubert, you go do your job. Yay, lost 2 supporters. What a surprise. We need more money. Yeah. Ruth! Yes, thank you for gaining money and gaining morale. Hubert! 1 person. You gained 1 person, Hubert. God! Damn it. Enforce. I have a uniform. Panic attack is over. Packages were delivered. We gained intel and we gained our uniform. Shut up! We still gained morale. No, literally shut the fuck up. British bomber formations attacked Cologne and Berlin and caused severe destruction. Great Britain and the Soviet Union signed treaty. Moscow, British and Soviet representatives signed a trade and credit agreement. Soviet Union needs economic aid after destruction caused by the Germans. Travel in low season. German holiday resorts are crowded with the management of German tourism. Calls the population travel in low season if possible. Ruth tells us that the nightclub she used to go to was closed. There's barely any places left to have fun. Oh, you poor thing, it's called a war. Sad to see what a joyless place Berlin has become. I wish we could go back away from all the madness, says Ruth. We live in a bleak time, hold on throughout the Nazis regime finally falls, we'll dance the night away. Sounds lovely, I just hope we survive that long. Listen, you negative bitch! Moving on. Gain access to the factory. For the love of Christ. The workshop that will print leaflets and print books. Have a party that will cost us money. No, we're slowly gaining. We're slowly gaining. Just give it time. Intel, where the fuck do I gain intel? Seriously, at this moment. This gains a stack of papers. This gains us literally nothing. Unlocks steel weapon. Must use money though. Unlocks spread books. That's great. Gains pack of books. Listen, fam, I need intel. Gains fake passport. Gains fact. Buy intel. In order to buy intel, I need this. Gain access to a factory. In order to do that, I need to paint. I can't paint yet. Because we have no mother of a bitch. Okay. Collect donations. Gains 1 mark. Gains 22. Okay. What are we at, fam? Alright, secrecy. And Volker leveled as well. I need you to do a little bit of, secrecy too. This music is like the fucking death of the world right now. Holy shit. How's that money looking, Volker? So I need to buy paint. Alright, well, the Nazis aren't there, so let's do this. Alright, Volker, you're going in. Next, Paul, how you doing? Going in with Hubert. Oh, ooh, wait. Uniform. I win. Wait, did it confirm? No, it didn't. There you go. High risk, Ruth, you need to do this. Lost 2, what a surprise. I don't care if anyone gets seen at this point. I just don't give a shit. Ruth has been seen. What a surprise. Hey, I got a question. If we get 4 stars again, do we gain anything? The Nazis are all over your ass, like stink on shit. Yes, 2 paint cans. Yeah. Got a professor, which gives us 6 supporters. Okay. The noise of the air raid sirens wakes me. It's pitch black outside. I can hear hurried footsteps rushing down the stairs. Put something on. I put on my coat and shoes and follow the white arrows along the staircase, pointing the way to the air raid shelter. I'm going to take as long as I can, because it's not like Germany got bombed anytime soon. Claus and Herman and the 2 teenagers left in our building are standing in front of the fire door. Finally! For Kaufman, it was high time. We were about to shut the door. Yeah, thanks for waiting for me. Herman makes a grim face and writes my name on a list and opens the door. The boy follows me in. Look around. There are a number of people from our building. I recognize Claus's mother, Anne Manholt, his sister, Elsbeth, as well as Hildegard Pitts, Herman's mother, and a corner of the Obits, a friendly elderly couple that lives on the ground floor. Good evening, I say, and I take a seat next to Anne. Hildegard, sitting opposite us, waves to me. Claus and Herman close and lock the fire door. Hi, Hitler! We're in charge of the shelter, says Herman. If anyone is missing, raise a hand. If anyone's missing, raise a hand. What? Nani? Look around. No one raises a hand. Good, Herman nods and makes a note. Claus stands next to him and makes a serious face. What's the situation? We're expecting a British bomber squad medium-sized within the next half an hour, says Herman. Nothing will happen, says Hildegard. Our air defense will take them down. They'll never reach Berlin. What makes you so sure? The Fuhrer said so in his last speech, says Hildegard. From today forward, not a single enemy plane will reach Berlin. That's what he said. You're so sure of your Fuhrer. If you're so sure about that, why are you even in the shelter? Comments Miss Sobitz from the corner. Are you questioning the Fuhrer? No, your actions question the Fuhrer. If you were so sure, you'd go back to bed and be like, I don't give a shit. Change topic. I'm impressed by the job these 2 boys are doing, I say, pointing at Herman and Claus, who both look proud. Since when are you trained air raid helpers? I ask the boy. 2 years now, says Herman. I've been training since May, says Claus. I'll go. We haven't seen each other in a while. How are you? I ask Miss Obitz. A loud bang interrupts all the conversation. The room shakes and the lights go off. We were hit, yells Claus. We were not hit. It was close, but not our building, says Herman. Look around. I try to look around, but the light's off. It's pitch black in here. A child, Elsbeth, is crying. A man whimpers. It's all right, everything is going to be fine. A woman's voice tries to comfort them. Move towards the crying child. I hold my hands in front of me and move slowly through the room towards the voice. Is everyone all right? Is anyone injured? Asked Herman. Someone find a light. The match is lit. I see concerned faces, and then it gets brighter. Claus holds up the Hindenburg lamp. We weren't hit, says Herman, but it was close. Probably somewhere on our street. Look for Elsbeth. Elsbeth is frightened, but alright, so I turn to the Obit. As Obit is holding her husband in her arms, his face buried in her chest, trembling and whimpering. Death by snoo-snoo. At least he's a wise man. What's wrong with him, Mr. Obitz? He can't stand the dark, says Miss Obitz. He'll be fine in a bit, just give him some time. What kind of man is this? Says Henry Gardner, crying like a child. What kind of example does it set for our young people? I swear to God, if I get the chance, I'm killing this woman. Miss Obitz holds her husband even tighter. Leave him alone. I mean, really, what is this? Look at these boys. He points at Herman and Claus. They're children, and yet they show more courage than you cowardly intellectuals. What can you expect? Will you shut the fuck up, lady? Something flies through the room and hits Hildegard on the head. Ouch! Look for Hildegard in the dark. She holds her hand to her head. On the ground next to her lies a tin can. Miss Obitz is holding another can in her hand and says, "One more word, you stupid cow, and you'll get this one too." Let her talk. "My husband served in the last great war. You fools started. He brought this back from the front with him. What he left there was his soul," says Miss Obitz. "So don't you tell me anything about courage, miss. No plane can make it to Berlin, or I swear to the Almighty, you won't make it out of the shelter alive." Offer help to Miss Obitz. "I'm fine," says Miss Obitz. "Just tell her to keep her distance." Loud impact of another explosion shakes the bunker. "This one was even closer," says Anne. "Yes, but still not our building," says Claus. "How can you tell?" Someone knocks at the door. "Hello," says a voice from the outside. "Would you let us in, please? The bombers are coming." "Who is that?" asks Sam. "I think I know," says Claus. "Who do you think it is?" "I guess," says Claus. "Is that Mr. Gutman?" "Your mother's right, let him in, Claus." Claus walks to the door, but Herman stops him. "Hands off, or do it!" He shoves the younger boy aside. "Who is there?" Herman asks through the door. "Would you open the door already? There might be another bomb dropping." "This is Louis Gutman and Paula and Elias. Let us in. It's really dangerous outside. The building down the road was hit and the fire's spreading." "Let them in," says Anne. "Don't you hear what they're saying? They're our neighbors, for God's sakes." "If you don't open the door right now, I'll make you." "No, I'm in charge of this bunker," says Herman. "It's my duty to stick to the rules, and the rules say the bunker's for errands only. Go away!" He says the last words loud, making sure the Gutmans can hear him on the other side of the heavy metal door. Grab Herman and force him to open the door. I grab Herman by the arm and pull him to the door, but he fights me off. "Stop it!" shouts Hildegard. "My son is in charge here, and he's absolutely right. The Jews are not allowed in the shelter. What you're doing is illegal. I will report you." "Fine, report me all you want, but this family's getting in." Something flies through the air and hits the wall next to Herman's chest. I turn around and see Miss Obitz ready with another tin can. I like this old woman already. "The next one will hit you in the head. I am really good at this," she says. "You hear what she said, Herman. And would someone please open this damn door?" says Miss Obitz, her tin can still aimed at Herman. "No, Claus, you go," says Anne. Her son stutters. What me? They're Jews. They're not supposed to." "Really, I could open it." Anne grabs her son and yells, "You open that door now!" Claus slowly opens the bunker door, his eyes downcast. Look at the door. Father, mother, and son Gutman into the bunker. "Thank you," says Paul. "We know we're not allowed in here, but we're terribly scared. It looked like the fire would reach our building, and Elias, he couldn't breathe because of the smoke." "You're safe here." "Thank you for letting us in," says Louis. "I'm sure the decision wasn't easy." He looks at Herman and Hildegard staring at the wall, and "I know what you're risking right now. I wouldn't have asked if it wasn't for Elias." "Don't worry." "Stop it," says Miss Obitz. "You are human beings, so are we. Well, some of us at least, so of course we let you in." We spend the rest of the evening in silence. There are no further attacks, and soon enough we hear the all-clear signal. The Gutmans are the first to leave the bunker. Hildegard stops me in the corridor and says, "What happened here tonight was an outrage. Normally I'd turn you all in, all of you!" She looks at Anne and Claus, who are looking away. "You don't dare." "Of course I dare," says Hildegard. "But since we are neighbors and we've known each other for such a long time, I'll look past it," she says. "How generous of you. But this is the first and last time. If I see any of you helping a Jew again, I will turn you in. You know where I work. You know who I know. Don't try me. Come on now, Herman," says Hildegard. I turn to Anne. "Do you think she's serious?" "She means it, but you won't turn us in. That would make her son look bad. After all, he was in charge of the bunker, and he was overthrown by an old woman." We laugh, even though there's nothing funny about this. End of scene. conquers the two Soviet cities, Narva and Novgorod, on the eastern front. German companies now recruit Spaniards. An agreement enables German companies to recruit Spanish workers for employment in the German Reich. Goebbels' office orders all Dutch cinemas to show the anti-Semitic propaganda movie The Eternal Jew for the next 12 months. During tonight's meeting, Volker complains that he can't sleep. Sometimes I hear air raid sirens in my sleep, even when there are none. It's awful. Failed his promise to keep Berlin safe from the bombings. Sure as hell did, and you have to wonder how many more Germans feel the way we do. Is it possible for Hitler to lose popular support for this war if we feel the pain here at home? It may be indeed be true. I think that may be right, I say, but imagine what if the RAF and allies decide it was worth it to just firebomb civilians? What would that mean for us? We have one pamphlet and one uniform. King Nazis over here. So this will open up this. Jesus Christ, all four of you, really? Alright, Hubert and Ruth, you're with me. Don't care, risk it for the biscuit. Enforce, don't give a shit. They could stop or leaving the next day, and many people notice them and see that someone has the courage to put them there. Jewish Death Squad. Eisenhower Group BC shoots 14,000 Jewish civilians. Due to protests, Hitler orders a discontinued of the so-called euthanization, the systematic murder of mentally ill. 70,000 have been killed so far. German troops conquer the Soviet city of Reval in Estonia and inflict serious losses on the Soviet Navy as they advance. During tonight's meeting, we discuss the war. Volker says, maybe it'll be shorter than we think. Sure, because the Allies are so powerful? Not exactly. What I'm thinking is that Hitler keeps attacking in all possible directions. Poland, France, but also Britain. And now he's invading Russia. Can the victories last? Hope you're right. Perhaps Hitler is overextending himself, but then we have to ask ourselves, what happens to Germany if he starts losing? Of course the Germans have come to town. Missing. Yeah. Can you seriously leave me the fuck alone right now? Listen, one of you go gain some money or some shit. Go gain some fucking followers, please. Go with Volker. He's less susceptible. Hey Ruth, we have to spend money to send you away. Does this make you happy? Oh wait, no, wrong one, isn't it? This one. 30 marks to shut you the fuck up. Engage, don't give a shit. Of course Paul's been seen. Thanks for helping, Ruth. You really... Shut the literal hell up about morale. We're fine. Jews forced to wear yellow badges. Ah, now begins the fun time. Jews in the territory of the Reich must wear a very clearly visible yellow badge in the form of a Star of David, in which the word Jew is written. French hostage is executed. Paris, as revenge for assassinations on German soldiers and German policemen, the German High Command executes several French hostages. The ghetto is set up in the Vilnius. A ghetto is set up in the German-occupied Vilnius, in which the Jewish population of the city is sealed off from the rest of the population. So much has changed in Berlin, says Ruth during our meeting, that it finally hits me why there seems to be so much less vitality here. All of our young men are gone. There's no young people walking around, going to work, studying, flirting, falling in love. They've all been drafted and sent to war. It's as if the city's beating heart has been cut out. I love the city. Berlin will never lose its... May Berlin keep her soul now and always through these dark times. Ay, Dios mío, señor, por favor. I'm not sending any more of you on that shit. Alright, we need some morale. Fine, spend some fucking money to get all your happiness back. Yay! Yay! It's been outside, or I've been a long time since we met outside for our secret meetings or during mission. Everyone brought their loved one. For one night, we avoid the topics that are dominating our daily life and so much every day. Do you remember when it was like this all the time? Do you think it will ever be better again? Asked Paul. Yes and yes. I do, and I'm sure there will be better times ahead. I understand, says Paul, that we should celebrate now as if there was no tomorrow. And on the day we did. Yay. You gained your morale, still lost 15. Due to the conquest of Schnitzelburg on Lake Ladoga, Lindegard is cut off from all land connections. The Wehrmacht begins a siege on the city. President Roosevelt orders the U.S. Navy to fire at German and Italian ships who are inside U.S. American waters without warning. Finally, The Story of Life by director Joseph von Begge premieres. Leading actress Louise Ulrich wins prize as Best Actress. Paul enters the room and looks very excited about something. He smiles at us and says, "Do you remember how the British Secret Service contacted us?" "Yes, I do. Is there anything new?" "Yes! They have a task for us. We're interested." "Of course we're interested. What is the task?" "They want us to deliver a correspondence to a few places in Berlin," says Paul. Do you know what that's about?" "I don't know in these letters, but I think we should use every opportunity to prevent a Nazi victory." "We'll do it." Okay. Yay, the Nazis left us alone, and we gained morale and Paul. Alright. I don't know, but I've been told I'm gonna get that uniform. Oh, well, tailspin. Oh, well, tailspin. Ruth, we need some more secrecy from your ass. Okay, let's see about this. Nah, risk it for the biscuit. Let's go. Hubert or Volker? Volker. Oh, you can't use a uniform to get a uniform. Ah, alright, let's risk it. Next, Volker. How you doing? Hubert? And let's do some money. How you doing, fam? Wait, I have to see this. Okay. Biscuit! For the biscuit! Hubert is visiting, gains a bunch of money. Good job, good sir. Cheerio, chip chip, cheerio. Enforced. Shot at. The fire's been seized. Oh no, Gert's been injured. No. What do we do? Paul visits the group. Okay, yeah. We still gave it a and then we lose 10. Wehrmacht takes Kiev. The 6th German Army completes the conquest on the Ukrainian city of Kiev in the Soviet Union. Wilhelm Keitel, German Field Marshal, orders that for every German soldier killed in the occupied territories, 50 to 100 communists are to be shot. The Winter Hilfswerk collects money from the population to finance winter equipment for the Wehrmacht. They managed to collect 28 million Reichsmarks. Hubert Ring looks nervous during our meeting. I ask him if he's unwell, and he says, "I just can't stop thinking about my family in Russia." Do you think they could be in danger? I've heard that from the Mormork's invasion in the largest in human history. I've heard terrible things about the fighting, so I'm worried. I'm so sorry you must have been terribly worried. Please know that we're all here for you. Hi, Gerd. How you doing? It's okay, Gerd. We're gonna send you with an outfit, and Hubert's gonna join you. Next up, because we need to collect money at a drastic and possibly drastic rate. You two are sitting out. Let's do whatever it takes! Gerd has died. Watch. The sky is grey as I walk down the Place de la Concorde. It has been 5 years since my last visit to Paris. 5 eventful years. Years in which the face of Europe deeply scarred. One sign of change is visible from afar. Giant swastika flags on the facade of the Hotel La Merci. I look at the crumpled note that Falk gave me in Berlin. According to the message, the meeting point is a side street behind the hotel. Continue to the meeting point. Although walking has made me hungry. Yeah, imagine if we had our bicycle that went MIA. I wonder if they will have food here, or if I should get something on the way. There's a bakery nearby. It's a small place that smells of freshly baked pastry. There is a line of people in front of me. It's finally my turn. I point at a croissant and say, "S'il vous plaît?" in my broken French, and I fish a few coins out of my pocket. When the bakery assistant hears my German accent, her expression darkens. Ignore it. I pretend not to notice. All conversations in the bakery stop. Silent. She takes my money, hands me the paper bag with my croissant, and turns to the next customer. Say thank you and wish her a nice day. I try to say goodbye politely as I can, but she doesn't react. Take the croissant, leave. Back on the street, I eat my croissant and think about the people's reaction when they heard my German accent. They seemed scared and angry at the same time, but can I blame them? Will the world will ever be able to forgive us? If this war ever ends, will anyone ever be able to look at Germany again without seeing the crimes and atrocities committed in our name? Hurry to the meeting point. The Rue de Rivoli looks almost like it did 5 years ago. Women with fashionable hats, opera coats, elegant men in suits, as if everyone was on their way to a grand dinner party. Even the German soldiers strolling in 2 by 2, looking at the shop windows, almost fit in. I turn the corner into the small side street off the Rue de Rivoli. The wooden door looks unremarkable. Someone has written "Fermi" closed on it with chalk. I check Falk's notes. Yes, this must be the place. Look around. I look left and right. There seems to be no one. Knock. Long break. Knock, knock. Knock. Long break. Knock. The signal Falk taught me. After a moment, a small window in the door opens and a pair of eyes looks at me from the other side. Que voulez-vous, monsieur? Falk sent me. I hear a whispered discussion behind the door before it finally opens, and it's dark inside. I can't see anyone or anything. Come in quickly, says a female voice. From what I can tell, a man and a woman lead me through the winding corridors into a vaulted cellar. Empty shelves in the walls look like they've previously been used to store something. There is a printing machine similar to the one we have in Berlin, and an open crate filled with sawdust and rifles. In the center of all of it sits a young woman pointing a gun at me. Who are you? She asks. Falk sent me. I'm here to meet someone called Fritz. She nods and lowers the gun. George, it's for you. From the dark corner, a man enters. He's wearing a sturdy worker clothes. Met this man 5 years ago. Despite the poor lighting and despite the fact that he looks very different without his fine suits, I recognize him instantly. Do I know you? He asks. You're a British journalist. We met in Paris. All right, you were the friend of Claire's, of those communists, Hannah and Richard, weren't you? Poor Richard, foreseeable, but still very sad. How's it going? What do you mean by poor Richard? Have you heard they killed him in Spain? His own people shot him in a Stalinist purge. I don't know how Hannah can still work with them. They were a couple once. I had no idea. So, are you here to meet Fritz? Bob told me to meet him here. He's in Paris, but not here. It would be insane to be seen with the resistance, but Claire can bring you to him. Claire? A dark-haired woman enters. I know her. She recognizes me and hugs me and kisses me on both cheeks. Good, wonderful to see you alive, she says. We have to meet Fritz in a bar the Germans like. We can get there underground. Just follow me, she says. How are you? How are things? We can talk on the way. Claire leads the way. It seems like the cellars of Paris are all connected by a maze of tunnels. How's life when you're under occupation? It's bad, she says. Paris was almost always a place of refuge for people from all over Europe escaping fascism in their own countries. When the Germans came, they had to flee again. Whoever stayed collaborated or went underground. How did the Germans treat you? They treat us poorly, she says. The Germans have arrested thousands since the start of the occupation. No one knows where they've taken them or if they're still alive. They make sure that no one feels safe. But the Nazis did in Germany as well. This is it, says Claire. We enter a small bar from the basement. The place is empty except for a few German soldiers sitting in a corner. Wait here, says Claire, and disappears to talk to the bartender. The soldiers shout for the waiter and order more drinks in German, their tables filled with empty bottles. Claire returns and points at a small door close to the bar. Your meeting is in there. See you later, she says. I enter a small room. Once my eyes get used to the darkness, I can see a table. A man wearing a German officer uniform sits at one side and gestures for me to take a seat. Wait for the man to start talking. Wait for the officer to say something. I've heard about you and your group. What you are doing is important right now, but people like you might become more important in the future, he says. People like me? Fighting the regime is important right now. But there will be time after the Nazis and New Germany once Hitler and his posse of criminals are gone. What will this Germany look like? What do you mean? What I mean is who will govern it? Or will it be governed? These are important questions, he says. Are you sure those are the most important questions right now? No offense, but it sounds to me like counting chickens before they hatch, I say. Sure, he says. At the very moment Hitler's troops form a line from Littengard to Madrid, but what seems like strength will become their weakness soon. How so? The troops are scattered too far apart. Germany was better armed than the rest of the world expected. But at the end of the day, it's still only a mid-sized country. Maybe, but Hitler isn't alone in the world. Hitler's allies are megalomaniacs just like him. They won't save the day either. Italy's dream of Mediterranean is Mare Nostrum. Oh, come on, he snorts. We have already seen the peak of Germany's power. From now on, things can only go downhill for the Reich. But there's still a problem. Takes a sip from his glass. If we want to stop the Nazis from the inside, we need the help of military. There's no way around a coup. But most generals are still loyal to Hitler, even though they can see that he is leading the country into catastrophe. He says, if they see that, what then to stop him? Misplaced loyalty, opportunism, a fear of what might come after the Nazis. Don't forget, many of these high-ranked military men might not be full-blown Nazis, but they have benefited richly from the regime, he says. Hypocrites and opportunistics. Yes, he agrees. We do not need them. No. But we do need them. That being said, most of them are no Democrats. They'd rather have another dictatorship than something like Weimar again. What do you want? Hold on a second. Okay. Just had to check something.
I want the Nazis gone, and I don't want them to be replaced by another autocrat. So I would like to prevent Germany from being governed by Russia when we lose the war. Having under Stalin is not a desirable future either, he says. So, we, our circle, would like to collaborate with your group, but you need to stay away from the Soviets, he says. What can I do to help? At the moment, not much, I guess. Continue your work, but things might change soon, and then you should be ready to act one way or another. With that, Fritz stands up, shakes my hand. Thank you for coming all this way, he says. You will hear from us.
I find Claire at the bar. How was the meeting? She asks. Do you trust him? She shrugs. I trust him enough to organize these kinds of meetings. She takes me back to the train station. We say goodbye and wish each other the best. On the train, I think about the meeting. Is Fritz right about the peak of Hitler's power being behind us? And if so, what does that mean? Are we in the middle of this war or close to the end already? What is the circle? If the network that Fritz hinted at is the circle exists, if there really are that many people in the high places willing to overthrow Hitler, why don't they just do it then? Why don't they just stop him? Why are they letting all these atrocities happen? How many people have to suffer and die before all this is over? Very true. German troops win the Battle of Kiev and capture 650,000 Russian soldiers. Russian tank weak in Britain. British workers show their solidarity with USSR. All armored vehicles produced by 27 September will be delivered immediately to the Soviet front. Stalin agrees to Atlantic Charter. The Soviet government commits itself to peace goals in the Atlantic Charter agreed between USA and UK. I can clearly see that Ruth Stern is angry when she comes into our meeting. Are you angry about something? When aren't you? To hell with Hitler, damn the Nazis and the goose-stepping stooges. I can't believe we're all dragged into this war. A curse on anyone who fights on their behalf. Volker appeal shoots up from his chair. Stop right there. Let's all remain calm, shall we? No one pays attention to me. Volker continues, I hate the Nazis just as much as anyone, but when you curse everyone in the army, you're cursing innocent men who forced to fight. They are brothers, our sons, our fathers. Innocent, yells Ruth. They are killing innocent men and women all over Europe for what? Ruth has a point. If you pick up a gun in the name of the Nazis, what does that say about you? I'm not going to hate my own family because they were forced to join. No one in this room can question my commitment to the cause. Walks out of the meeting. Listen, Volker, I agree with both of you, but there was no option. I'm gonna blow my nose now because allergy. Oh, excuse me. So Hubert has 4, Ruth has 4, Volker has 3, Paul has 3, and I have none. Well, Gerd. However, we are doomed, and unless we plan on waiting 4 complete weeks... Oh my god, go in the hole. That's what she said. 1 intel, 2 army. Just in case. Take the army outfit away from him. Give it to these guys. Wait, how much money do I have? Send these 2 idiots away. Gerd has recovered from his wounds. Good. Royal Air Force bombs Hamburg, deployed 85 tons of bombs. Mass murder on the Jewish population! After the Germans took the city, 33,000 Jewish civilians were shot. Germany's army grew center up with 2 million troops. More than 24,000 tanks and assault guns attacked the Russian capital and began the Battle of Moscow. During her meeting, Ruth repeats a terrible rumor she heard from the colleague at work. He told me the concentration camps are nothing but enormous execution sites. Thousands of innocent people are waiting there to be killed. Where'd you get the information? I know this person. He wouldn't invent such things. He heard it from a family member who works in one of those camps. How do they manage to hide this from reality? I ask myself the same question. We have to doff our hats to the Nazis' propaganda machine. It turns out people in monsters without them necessarily knowing it. We need to help these people. Let's do it, even if we can't help everyone. Every person counts. No more alpha. Alright. Have a party. Yeah, let's have a party in the middle of the war. Spread the books. We're gonna give you propaganda or secrecy. I need another person, huh? Alright, I need to buy paint. I'll take it. Wear the outfit. Need money. Hubert, you're up. Buy paper. Ruth, you're up. When hasn't Volker been seen? Force. Force. What are they gonna do? Kill us? Oh no, Kurt's been seen. Hitler, Soviet Union defeated in a speech in Berlin's Sportsplatz. Hitler says the USSR has been defeated and will never rise again. As the German troops advance, the Soviet government evacuates women and children from the city. German troops off Moscow are being drastically slowed down by the increasing snowball and mud. Volker's eyes hollow. Even when I see him at tonight's meeting, he seems distant. I'm distracted, Volker. Are you alright? I am... sorry. It's Volker. I am my brother. I told you about my brother being drafted, yes? Well, he's dead. Died fighting in Russia. Terribly sorry. But I speak for all of us when I say we're all sorry for your loss. If there's anything any of us can do to help, let us know. Morale! Losing even more. What a surprise. You can't win. You seriously can't fucking win with the morale machine. Alright, we have one critical information. I also noticed that we are running out of space. And this shit doesn't stack. Great. Alright, let's put out some pamphlets, I guess. Ruth's still a part of the team? Yes, unfortunately she is. Wait, stack of leaflets. Oh, that is true. I can gain intel, but the problem is that takes up space. In order to gain intel, which intel requires this. Oh, Lord help me. Set up a hideout, which requires paint. It's surprising we're not putting out that many leaflets. I mean, we are, but we're not. Hey, Gerd, how you doing? No. Let's send Volker since he's at 4. let's do this one. Hubert. 2 outfits. Hey, Paul, how you doing? Go get that money, dog. Go get that money. And buy paper. We don't need any more paper. Ruth, go you do your democracy bullshit. I thought you were going to get rid of her because she's catty. I mean, you can't really get rid of her. Though I haven't shied away from sending her out, so... Ruth has been seen! Oh no. I told you. I swear to God, this game is like, oh my God, you're a woman? Command to deport, head of German. I swear to God, half these fucking words don't exist, but... Odinol lazy. Kurt Delug signs the first order to deport German Jews to occupied Eastern European territories. Ghetto in Chernovsky. A ghetto of Jews is established in the Romanian town of Chernovsky. Inhabitants of the ghetto are severely punished for the slightest offense. Moscow under siege. Stalin says the city will be defended by all means, and it will never fall in the hands of Germans. I have to share something with you all, says Volker at the beginning of our meeting. I spoke with someone who told me about a Nazi camp that he saw while he was off fighting. What did he tell you about the camp? The camps are huge now, and there are many, many more of them. Holding thousands of prisoners, Volker takes a long breath. They're organizing a process of executing thousands of people, huge numbers of innocent people processing in murder factories. Have these fascists gone completely mad now? This is beyond comprehension. Yes! More morale lost. Yes! Everyone gained points, though. Weird. Steal a uniform. Of course. Can't steal a uniform with a uniform. Risk it for the biscuit! No. Let's just stick you. God, we have no money, man. We have no fucking money. Here. Screw it, Ruth. Go on a hiatus. Buy intel. Hey, Volker, wanna go on a trip? Just kidding. Actually, speaking of which, put her in an outfit. There you go. What does the red mean? You mean the red dots, or the red, like, part of the map? Good job, Ruth. Gerd thinks he's been seen. Oh no! Wehrmacht occupies the city of Voshma and Bryansk. 673,000 Soviet soldiers are taken prisoner by the war by the Germans. Read in the newspaper. That means, like, serious events. Bombs on Bremen. British aircraft dropped 140 tons of bombs during an air raid on Einsettik of Bremen. German police units shoot thousands of hostages. In revenge for the partisan activities, German police units shoot 9,300 hostages in former Yugoslavia. I hear the laughter from before I enter the room. Hubert sits at the table and is telling a funny story about one of his neighbors. It was just does such crazy things. One time, as the Nazis were marching past his house, he took a few rotten tomatoes and threw them at the soldiers, shrieking, "Get out of my street, you dirty Nazi swine!" He only stopped when he ran out of tomatoes. His wife could barely calm the Nazis down. Amazing. I kind of want him to invite him. Well, he's a pretty reckless guy. His wife is the only reason he's not in prison. I'm not sure how much longer it will be before he's a real problem. Still, it's good to know that other people believe in what we do. He really is a nice person. It would be terrible if something happened to him. Okay. We have 3 outfits. Now begins the time. So we have to go painting. Sweet Jesus, everyone's red! Okay, we need you to do a little bit more secrecy, dog. Hubert. Ruth. All uniforms. Even though there's not 3 of us. Shh. Volker? Yeah. Ruth? Yep, go earn that money, fam. Go ahead and earn that money. Because I have to buy a factory, don't I? Yeah. Yeah, that's what I thought. Which that's gonna cost 40. Cause them to go into hiding. Risk it for the biscuit, fam. Risk it for the biscuit. Good job, Ruth. You did something good. No one's been caught. We gained morale. Yay! Jews must stay in the Reich! Henrik Himmler, head of the German police, orders that no Jews will no longer be allowed to emigrate from Germany. We can't let them escape! We must kill them all, apparently. You know, because that's no shit. Mass deportations of Jews began in Berlin. The mass deportations of Jews to labor in extermination camps in conquered territories in the east began. All operations of the Wehrmacht as Moscow are stopped due to bad weather and lack of preparation. You know what, Mrs. Ruth? During our meeting? You never see private cars anymore on the streets of Berlin. The trains are still running, of course, but far fewer automobiles. Yeah, I noticed that too. It's the fuel rationing, says Hannah. Fuel has to be saved for the war effort instead of private use. It's too expensive now. We're all feeling the effects of the war, even the drivers. We have to go buy our factory now. Paul it is. We have intel, right? No. Sweet Jesus, Volker, really. Okay, we're getting some intel. Buy intel. But then we gotta wait for the next one of these to break up and be seen, so... Hey Hubert, why don't you go do your thing? Hide in a uniform while you're at it. How much money do we have now? Not enough. Enforce, don't give a shit. What a surprise. I don't give a shit. Volker, gain someone else. Records about it, okay. Might disappear.
Hmm?
I'm about to leave the house when I run into Hildegard. Have you heard? She asked. Heard what? They took the Gutsmans. Our street is free of Jews, finally! I wonder why it took so long. They took the Gutmans, I asked. When did this happen? This morning! The Gestapo came and took them away. It looked like they knew it was coming. They had suitcases packed and everything. You know where they brought them to? I heard they brought the Jews to a synagogue in Mobit, the one Levotsko Street. You think Herman and I can move into their apartment now, or is it reserved for someone? Excuse me? The Gutman's apartment is bigger. Herman would love to have his own room. He's at the age now where he doesn't want to sleep in the same room with his mother anymore. Is this all you care about? Are you worried about them, Hildegard? Asked Hildegard. Don't be. They'll be resettled in the East where they belong. Every race should live where they naturally belong. It's all part of the Führer's great plan. You know what? I'm arguing with you. I'm just saying caution to the fucking wind. After the speech I gave at the beginning of the stream, caution to the wind, no more. I don't think that's what this will happen to them. Remember what Hannah told me at the cinema about the one marked and the SS murdering thousands of civilians in the East? I need to go. Without saying goodbye, I leave Hildegard standing there and take the metro to Movit. Once there, I walk to Levitso Street as fast as I can. When I reach the synagogue, there are 2 trucks parked in front. A group of men wearing SS uniforms are standing in the entrance. Watch the scene from where you are. The guards step aside as a crowd of people begins to exit the synagogue. One SS officer shouting at them and to get into the back of the trucks. It seems to be only elderly and children, each of them carrying a suitcase or bag. The trucks are crammed with people already. The soldiers are still forcing more to get in. No one is exiting the building anymore. The trucks leave. With the trucks gone, I can look through the open door of the synagogue. It is crammed with people. There are hundreds of people. Many of them look like they have spent the night in there. Looks like it's finally happening, says a man in a blue coat standing next to me. The big resettlement, the exodus, the great cleansing. Looks like the days of disorder and Russian schna in Berlin are finally over. The Jews are going where they belong. And where do they belong? Nowhere. He smiles. Ah, look! He yells at his hand. The rain has stopped! Hi, Hitler! He says and walks away. Something is happening at that synagogue. The SS men step aside again. Observe what's happening. I stay where I am and observe what's going on at the synagogue. People are streaming out of the building onto the streets, guarded by the soldiers and SS officers. Yelling commands are there, they're lining up. People stop to look at the scene as the police try to keep them at the distance. Keep watching. More and more people stream out of the synagogue, filling the street. It's hard to imagine that until now they've all been inside that one building. I look out for the Gutmans, but don't recognize anyone in the crowd. Maybe if I can get closer, but the SS guards are aggressively pushing bystanders away. Then the prisoners start moving down the street. I choose a spot on the route that's as far away from the SS guards as possible and wait for the prisoners to pass by. The crowd is huge. Men, women, children, everyone is carrying a piece of luggage. I'm close to giving up as I finally see Louis, Paula, and their son, Elias. Gutman's familiar faces. Louis recognized me. He comes over and speaks so quietly that I can barely hear him. What the hell are you doing here? I wanted to see if I could help you. And can you? He hisses. I'm sorry, says Louis. Thank you for coming here. Appreciate it. As you can see, we are fine. Just walking to a train which will bring us to our new homes. Where are they taking you? East. They said there are places for us to live there. They just don't want us here anymore, but don't worry. We're gonna be fine. We Gutmans have always managed to find a way. Suddenly he starts tearing up. Tears are running down his cheeks. Is there anything I can do? It's just... He sobs quietly. Elias. Why isn't it enough to take us? Why do they have to take our children too? What do they ever do to them? Why can't they just kill me and spare my boy? Take a step back from the prisoners. For a brief moment, you can still see Louis before he disappears into the crowd. There's no such thing as new homes in the East, I know it. Louis knew. And the SS guard who threatened to send me on that train knew it too. I will never see Louis, Paula, and Elias again. In October 1941, the regime... Alright. Typing noise. Stop it. Son of a bitch! Really? Hera was like, yo, we're gonna push for, getting at least one objective done. No? It's like the game quickens so much so that you can't get a chapter done like an objective in it. It's just meaningless meander of just manager morale, manager morale, manager morale, manager morale, manager morale. We're not doing anything of importance to at least try. It's like objectives are completely pointless. In October 1941, the regime began to deport thousands of Jews to the east, killing them there. Despite these crimes, although it quickly became apparent that Germany would no longer be able to win the war, most Germans still supported Hitler and his regime, enabling them to continue their war of annihilation. Your leadership is strong and stable, your group has recruited and retained enough supporters that can persist through the darkest of times. I took super risks. We got several people injured. Several people had 4 stars, or 4 red dots. If you get over 4, I'm guessing they take you. And you lose people.
Like the Gutmanns, thousands of Jews were deported to the east. Trains departed daily. We didn't know for sure what happened to them, but the rumors we heard were terrible. Little did we know that the truth was so much worse. After a series of German victories, the Allies began to fight back. German cities were regularly attacked and destroyed by Allied bombers. In the winter of 1942, the Wehrmacht lost more than 300,000 soldiers at Stalingrad.
That's how it's pronounced.
The majority were killed, not just by bullets, but by cold and hunger too. The rest were captured. Many of us thought that the war was now over. But it wasn't over. Even though the Wehrmacht had been on retreat for 2 full years, the regime had not given up. On the contrary, the weaker they were, the more aggressive and ruthless they became.
That's because they had nothing to lose. Literally and figuratively, they had nothing to lose.